Hey guys, it's Mr. The Jet here. I don't really like that name, but I had to change it because having ships killing my name's a hate crime. Anyway, back on topic. The miniseries I'm starting today is called the Countdown to South Park, The Stick of Truth. And this is because on Tuesday, March 5th, 2013, the South Park game, South Park The Stick of Truth, comes out for all platforms. And I'm just going to show you all the information that I've gathered so far. And I'm going to show you the trailer that I saw at E3, and afterwards I ran to pre-order the game. Here it is.
Peggy 16.
We have been betrayed. The peace we once knew shattered like glass. First came the goblins, then underpants gnomes, vampire kids, hippies, crab people. We need a savior who can undo that which has been did. I'll do it. Jews can't be saviors, remember? We need the new kid. What new kid? Last week, a new kid moved into the house on Fuller Street. The new kid has a power we have yet to understand. Then how can we trust him? Come on, new kid! Fight for the stick!
Alright, what'd you think? That was the first trailer of the South Park Stick of Truth, the world premiere. And there's 5 classes in the game. There is Warrior, Thief, Mage, Cleric, and Jew. And Jew is, it's I guess, in the game, supposed to be kind of racist. But in real life, I'm meaning completely serious. That's the actual name of the class that's going to be in the game. So, and what his power is he's like the paladin, and the lower his health is, the stronger he gets, and I'm going to show you that trailer. Here it is.
For 1,000 years, the battle has been waged. But the tides of war are soon to change, as news of a new kid spreads throughout the land. All hail the Grand Wizard! So, you are the new kid. Your coming was foretold by Coldwell Banker. Let me show you my kingdom. Well, here it is. The reason why humans and elves are locked in a never-ending war. The Stick of Truth. It's gone. The elves got it. That was your one goddamn job, Clyde! To guard the Stick of fucking Truth! Give us the stick, humans! Fuck you, Drow Elf! Come and get it! Hartman is using you, can't you see it? Don't let him Jew-wash your brain, you kid. Hartman is the one you should be fighting against. The elves are attacking! Don't ask why Kenny wanted to be a chick, it's just how he seems to be rolling right now.
Okay, that was the second trailer. That's the one that was released just after E3. But we saw a few fighting scenes in that trailer, and my question when I watched the trailer was, what is the combat going to be like in this game? Well, let me show you. Okay, so just before we get started, this is an interview with the lead designer for South Park: Stick of Truth, and he explains the combat and some of the storyline. Here you go.
The new kid in South Park, when you join Cartman's game, you'll be able to select from 5 basic classes: fighter, mage, thief, cleric, or Jew. Each one of these classes will flavor how you approach combat. And the Jew is going to be sort of our paladin monk type character. The current design for him is he's a high-risk, high-reward character. The closer he is to death, the more powerful his abilities become. So you're strongest when you're at 1 hit point, but you're also just about to die. Our combat will look like a lot of RPGs you might have played in the past. It'll certainly bear a lot of similarities to, say, Paper Mario, maybe a little bit of Final Fantasy, only without, like, 14-minute sequences of knights with the rounds attacking your enemies. We're using a lot of sort of reflex widgets in the style of Paper Mario, where you can perform an attack and you'll do a certain amount of damage. You'll do even more, though, if you get these properly timed inputs. Same with your defense. When the enemy's attacking you, you don't just sit there and watch them attack you. You can have little inputs to block them. And if you do it with the right timing, you can, say, perfectly block them and maybe gain a counterattack or take less damage. And depending on your class, you might also have alternate defenses. So perhaps you'll have a defense where you actually take more damage, but then, say, gain power to use your abilities later. A lot of the combat in South Park is really just kids being kids. There's a lot of juvenile violence with wholly unsafe toys. You may get wooden swords and suction cup bows, but you'll also get, flaming tennis balls, gardening implements, and ninja stars. If you've ever seen the episode Fun Times with Weapons, and you see Butters with a throwing star in his eye, well, that's going to be a lot of what the combat's like in this game. The player's going to be able to get a variety of weapons that they can upgrade and augment and customize. So you could get your little toy sword. It's good for hitting people. But then you maybe want to enchant it with, say, speed upgrades so you get attacks more frequently, or poison upgrades so you can do damage over time on your opponents. We don't want this game to be a slot machine of loot, where you just keep getting weapons and use them for 5 minutes and throw them away. We want you to form relationships with all your little toys. So you might get a weapon and then get various upgrades as time goes by and really customize it to do exactly what you want with it. We've talked about a lot of games in our meetings with Matt and Trey. I thought I've played a lot of RPGs, we can talk about Ultima, we can talk about Wizardry, we can talk about KOTOR and Deus Ex. They have played a lot of games. They've played classic games, modern games, action titles, strategy games. We've mentioned, I think, Paper Mario has come up a bit, Zelda comes up a lot. I don't know if they've ever had a very solid list of here's exactly the things we want out of the combat system per se, but more like these are the types of battles you should have with these certain characters. And I think they've really driven home that the essence of the combat is kids being kids. When we showed Matt and Trey an early build, one of the comments was, I want the kids to bleed more, I want the kids to cry more, I want these kids to, really just treat each other like crap, because that's what kids do, is they're really rough with each other. So I think that was certainly one of the things they wanted out of combat, was kids being little bastards. Depending on your class, you'll have a variety of special abilities that you can use to augment just, your strategy of hitting people in the head with your toy sword. Some of the moves will be extremely juvenile, taunts, kicks to the nuts, things like that. And others will be powers that are themed to what the boys are pretending they're doing. Like, you could be a mage and cast a magic missile, but what you're really doing is, throwing flaming objects at your opponent, or, having clerical abilities like healing and cursing people and putting buffs on your friends and debuffs on your opponents. We've iterated on combat a bunch. In its very early forms, it was sort of a hybrid turn-based real-time system. We've moved towards more of a turn-based system. One of the problems with having things real-time where you could push a button at any time and move your character was that you didn't have control of your companion. And I think a lot of the appeal of playing a game in the South Park world is, having your friends do cool stuff. Certainly it's nice to watch Cartman taunt your foes and pretend he's a wizard and throw spells, but it's even better to control Cartman and make him taunt your enemies and make him cast his spells. So by moving to a turn-based system, we let you separate when you're controlling the new kid from when you're controlling the companion, and really give you full control of the combat. Usually the setup will be that it's you and a buddy against multiple opponents. Sometimes you might call in a temporary companion to help you out, depending on who you've met in your adventure. Our combat certainly isn't as obtuse and hardcore as the combat maybe in some of the other games we've worked on. This isn't Neverwinter Nights 2 where you have, I don't know how many different classes with all these different spells and feats and stuff like that. You don't need to be a pale basement virgin to understand this game. if you're a fan of the show, that's all you need to know to jump into this game. This game's all about laughing, having fun, making friends, and doing horrible things to other kids. One of our sort of design goals for the game is for it to be, in the words of the system sub-lead Jesse Farrell, he calls it deceptively meaty. The game should appeal to someone who has never played an RPG before. I'm not going to say it's as simple as you just mash a button and watch funny things happen, but it's an RPG. You can always like level up and get lots of items and get through a majority of the combats. We'll want to have achievable combats, as we call them, to harken back to another game. If you've played like Final Fantasy VII, there's these like weapons throughout the world that were far stronger than the actual end boss of Final Fantasy VII. And to beat it, you'd have to like really understand the combat system, really understand the RPG system, and beating it was sort of extra credit. And we'd love to fill the world with creatures that you might meet very early on, who are 20 or so levels higher than you. And you're not intended to beat them the first time through, but if you really understand the system, you can kind of go beat them for extra credit and gain extra collectibles and unlockables. The South Park game isn't just 20 hours of parody and satire. It's a real adventure, almost on the scale of the South Park movie. It happens to be satirical. It will poke fun at other games, but I don't think it's just it's not just non-stop satire. It has a story to tell. It has an adventure that you get to go through. And I think we'll certainly have fun with the way other games do, unskippable cutscenes and, long diatribes from bosses. The goal of the game isn't to just like piss on other games and say, haha, they're stupid. It's to have a fun adventure. I mean, Matt and Trey love gaming. They're some of the most hardcore gamers I've ever met. And, it's not just about making fun of games. It's about having a great game that happens to be really funny.
Alright, so there you have it. It's basically going to be a bunch of kids playing a game. Fireball, flaming tennis balls. I think it's going to be awesome. And I hope you enjoyed. If so, please leave a like and make sure to subscribe to my new channel, because the previous one, Gypsy Killer Jet, is not allowed to be uploaded to anymore. Have a good day. Bye.